I can help you with, let me know. And I meant like, send me to make copies, do whatever. I'll do it. I just wanted to get to know the thing. Anyway, we were talking about FSBOs, and then 30 days later, after listening to a couple of her key points, I had listed $4.2 million in FSBOs. So my first 30 days, I thought that was, actually, I didn't know it was good, to be honest with you. 2 people called me and said, we have this meeting on Tuesday, you need to be here, are you going to be here? Can we count on you? You know that call, right? Yeah. And then another person called, and finally, what I now know as the OP, called me, and she says, we really need you to be in the meeting. They didn't call it team meeting, it was just in the meeting. And I said, all right, 3 people have called me, I'll be there. You know, I got nothing else to do, I've been laid off from my job, you know, what can I do? I get there and they get an award, they do awards. And they call my name and they say 4.2 million in 30 days. I thought, is this a big thing? I really had no idea, I really didn't. And then I said, well, they said, how'd you do it? I said, for some of my owners. Knocked on the door, and it was like foreign language to people. You knocked on it. Hell, I didn't know what else to do. They said if you need to talk to a seller, you got to go talk to them. So I did. I remember the one cool thing, it's cool now, I was doing it out of desperation at the time, but it's cool now. I would hand them something. I'd come to the door and I'd go, here you go, you're going to need this when you sell it on your own. And I may have broken some rules, I don't know. I gave them CMAs, I gave them a list of inspectors, I'd come back and go, you're going to need this when you sell it on your own. And then I'd get like blank contracts. And I'm a broker now, I'm like, you know, so you're going to need this. Y'all don't say this to anybody, not on Facebook, right? So, and then I get to edit that. And then I'd give them stuff, and I'd go, you're going to need this when you sell it on your own. Now, it's genius today. I didn't know it then, but I was the only badge-carrying realtor who was actually trying to help them do what they wanted to do on their own. Everybody, I guarantee, everybody else who called them, oh, I got 4 buyers in the car, I'd like to preview your home. You know that lie? Anybody ever said that? Yeah. There's nobody in the car, right? I don't even have a car. Right? So, and so I would just kind of give instead of get. And I know it now that that's why it worked. Because after a few days, I'd go back by and go, man, this is the only guy that wants to help me do what I want to do. They didn't know that they weren't sharp enough to do it on their own. They're CPAs and they're school teachers and they're cops. They did that for a living, and I did this for a living, you know. So that kind of launched the career there as an agent. Within about 60 days, after a series of conversations, I was graduated, if you want to call it that, to team leader of Pearland. And I didn't know this at the time. These are some life lessons, and they're all tied into whether you have wealth or not. You learn these lessons faster. I didn't know what an LCF was. What's an LCF?
Loss carry forward.
Loss carry forward. This is after all the, yeah, you sign up to be the manager of this office, team leader. And they break this to me and they go, bam, this is a balance sheet and an income statement. And what that negative number, $86,000, is what we're upside down in. I'm like, wow, I was doing fine as a FSBO. Now I've got 86K in negative money, so I had to go and make some changes in the operational budget and stuff. Just natural business stuff. Look at what you're spending, where the value's coming from or not. And I scrunched the bottom line a little bit. And boom, we went profitable in 90 days. And so that little reputation, I think, got me in a conversation about, if I do this, 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 and this, is there a chance that I might own one of these things one day? And so I did several things over the next 36 months. And then I get invited to Saltgrass in Pearland. Saltgrass restaurant. And then there were 3 owners at the time, Don Jones, Judy Burno, and Chris Burno. Judy and Chris are married, if you know them. And I said, man, I've been to lunch with Judy, but I've never been to lunch with all 3 of the owners. So I thought either I'm getting fired, I did something wrong, you know, or they were going to give me some news. And there was a green envelope, I'll never forget it, a green envelope with a single clasp. And we're having small talk and all that stuff, and they open it up and they go, well, thank you for all of these things that we've accomplished. By this time we were at 150 agents. When I started there were 33. It's 150 or so agents, and profit was in the 250 to 325 range. So it had turned around. I mean, 3 years doing anything, you're bound to get some progress. And they opened that little green envelope, and there's an addendum to the LLC, that is the ownership of Pearland. There's an addendum to it. By this time I know what an addendum is. I flip to it real quick, and there's my name with X% ownership of the company. That was like You can tell, I can describe it to the T. I'll never forget that day where they offered a piece of what they had grown. And I'm not an idiot, because they wanted to keep me for a little bit longer. So we made a deal that says I'll stay 5 years. Yeah, 4 more years. I committed to another 4 years in exchange for that piece of partnership. Nowadays I look at it and I think about it and I go, while it was generous, you'd need a microscope to see the percentage. I'm looking back, I'm going, wow, sold my soul for X percent. That's okay, it's good. I'm okay, And so I stayed for a total of 7 years. In 2012, I had an opportunity to go work with Joe Rothschild. He had lost a team leader, and he had gone through about 3 of them by then. So Joe Rothschild, a convert from Remax, he bought off on everything that Mark Willis told him. It'll happen this way, you'll do this, and you'll be wealthy, all this stuff. Everything you tell Mega to come over, all that stuff. And they come over, and he had gone through a series of TLs for legit reasons. One of them had baby. When people have babies, they don't want to work every day. Because that's enough work, right? And it went round and round, and finally I was the 9th interview for the 4th team leader. I was number 9 of the interviews for the 4th time he's going to do this. And I show up there. Actually, I was on my way to Katy from Pearland. It was about 5:30. There was a lot of traffic. And a team leader friend of mine called me. And we don't talk a whole bunch. He's really good at numbers. In fact, he's not a TL anymore. And he called me and he says, "Hey brother, I understand you're going to a meeting with Joe Rothschild." I said, "Yeah, I am." I was like, "Yeah, what do you got for me? Give me something, And he goes, "Well, I just wanted to call and say I'm praying for you." Ooh. I know! That's not what you tell a guy who's going to stake the rest of his life. Leave all that you know. By the way, the Pearland office was about 4 blocks from my home. But I'm driving 38 miles to Katy to see some guy I've heard about. Yeah. And then I got a friend of mine call and say he's praying for me. I said, wow. I wanted a U-turn so bad. I was on 288, you couldn't get off. So, needless to say, I go there. I found out that he had had 8 interviews, 5 minutes long each. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to make it to 6 minutes. I don't give a crap. I'm going to make it to 6. 8:45 that evening, we're still talking. My feet were up, his feet were up. We're talking about how we could do these things in real estate. So we hit it off. It was interesting. The very first thing he told me later, he said, what got you in a longer conversation was when I walked into his desk. He's so tidy. He's worse than I am on OCD. Everything in its place. And I put a broker metrics report for his team on his desk, and I turned it around like that. And I said, well, before we get started with this, Joe, I wanted you to know if you knew your business was up 26.3% year over year. I wonder if you knew that. And actually, that's a great entree when you talk to any mega or a capper. Tell them more about their business than they know. And he reaches over to it like that, and he goes, no one's ever showed me anything like this. Wow, right? So that was a pretty cool start, to our conversation. And then we got the deal together. I relinquished my shares in Pearland about a year later, once I knew it was good over there. He did give me a piece of the company with an earn-in potential. And then he drops a bomb on me. Yeah. He goes, this is my balance sheet and my income statement. And there's a negative number on it. It's $156,000 LCF. I think, damn it, 86 negative looks really good right now. I keep learning this same stupid lesson. Yeah. And my God, we wiped that out in about 60 days. It was just stuff going on under the hood that shouldn't be going on. It's just like, why are you buying that? And so we wiped it out. I earned some more in as an owner. And then about 3 years ago, late 2012, no, it's 4 now. I was having a conversation with Joe, and he said, Mark Willis at the time, CEO, he was Joe's coach, and they talked all the time. And Mark Willis said to me, Al Rincon, that I should bring you opportunities. I said, it sounds logical to me. I love Mark. Yeah, bring me opportunities. And then he said, but what I decided, Al Rincon, is that you should bring them to me, and together we will execute upon them, if they're good. And so about a week and a half later, I called a good friend of mine that about 6 years prior, I saw him in Las Vegas at a Mastermind. His name is Jeff Bird. And if everybody, you met Jeff Bird, he's the most lovable son of a gun country guy ever. And back in the day in Vegas, I said, man, one day for some reason, I know we're going to be doing something together. I don't know what it is. Synchronized swimming, or what, I don't know. But I knew it. And sometimes you just know, right? And so I called Jeff Bird about a week and a half after my discussion with Joe. And I said, Jeff, who do you know that might be considering partnering in one of these Keller Williams things? It's a classic who do you know question that you would ask any seller or buyer, right? And he said, the magic response, he goes, that's funny, you should ask that. And that led to a conversation. Before you know it, Joe and I were on Highway 6, headed to College Station, a place that I'd probably never been before. And we got into partnership with Jeff Bird. Thank God no LCF. It was flat, but he hadn't taken a profit distribution in 5 years. And his partners were like, all 20 of them were like, hey, what are we going to do here? Does this work or not, right? And then we turned that around, starting in profit, and then we went over to, Jeff Bird asked me, he invited me to lunch at a place called the Cotton Patch. Y'all go to College Station? Well, I've never really been, and in Houston there are no Cotton Patch restaurants. So for a couple of seconds there, I had a grown man asking me to have lunch with him in the Cotton Patch. I thought we're going on a picnic or something. I had no idea. And I found out quickly it was a little restaurant, kind of like a Chili's thing over there in College Station. We sit down and he goes, thank you for turning the other one around. And by the way, I got another one of these. That was Wake Up. Oh. Yeah. And longer story short, we ended up branching, recently got approved to launch in Temple, Texas, off of Waco. And the magic of this, by the way, guys, ladies, is, man, was there no men here? Okay, yeah. The magic of these things, and this, I might edit from the video, the magic of these, all of these acquisitions, the microscopic percentage in Pearland, the double-digit percentage in Signature, which is Katie Office, and the OP level percentage ownership in College Station and Waco. The magic of those is that the Rincon family has written the check for absolutely $0. Yeah. I've acquired it the old school way of sweat equity, and I'm cool with that. This is what I do well, right? If it was basketball, I'd be broke, because I suck at it. But acquiring offices and growing profitable businesses, one agent at a time, it's kind of what I do. So I'm gonna ride that one out, right? So I look back and I go, my God, that was my dad's wealth strategy. And he had rent property and stuff like that. You know, he was a merchant marine for I don't know how many years, but he started when he was 16. He lied about his age. They grew up in the Depression, 1927, 32, something like that. And so he was the expert at sweat equity. I look at it now, I'm 55, and I look back and I go, wow, the guy was a genius, you know? And it was because he didn't have capital. Well, at least I got some, I could throw some in, but Dad didn't have capital. And so everything he did, he earned in. So as it turns out, I'm repeating the thing. And I kind of was in real estate back then because he had rent property. And I didn't know it, but I was in real estate because I was fixing the broken pipes underneath the soggy rent houses. I was doing that at 10 or 12 years old. So I was in real estate, but in another way. you wouldn't do that. Bottom up. Yeah, it doesn't pay too well either. So that's just kind of my story. Okay, and along the way, I've had some nuggets or things that have been etched upon my brain of what I learned along this way. It's only been 12 years. Most of this stuff happened in the last 36 to 48 months, right? So say I paid my dues in Pearland, and then boom, right? So that's why I offered Ruth to come and just share. If you guys have any thoughts or ideas about the word that we use at KW is limiting beliefs. If you have those, kill them immediately. They're all wrong. All right? I mean, I had someone I started too. I remember asking Judy, well, I think I've made my decision. You know, when I'm getting hired as a new agent. You'll love this. I think I made my decision. I didn't say it, my wife told me to come here today. But I made my decision, and if you do these things, I had written it up, you do these things, I'd be happy to grace your company with my presence, or some arrogant statement I made. And I gotta tell you, I was thinking so big that I asked for 100 welcome cards, and I think 1,000 business cards. I think I asked for that. The audacity of it, right? And now I look back and I go, wow, what a moron. So, and for a lot of reasons, why would I ask them? Now I'm KW through and through. I'm going, the value's here, baby. I don't have to give you anything but training and consultation, right? And here I was asking for it. And then, if you ask for something, go big. Don't
limit yourself.
Yeah, I had such a lid on my head from 20 years corporate America. You know, I was doing $165,000 a year in corporate America. I was the biggest badass project manager ever on the planet at Houston Lighting and Power. And I thought I was wealthy. Wow. So anyway, long thing that got me here. There's some things that I remember vividly, and that's kind of what I'm going to get in and share with you today. Is that cool? All right, so I was toying with doing this, and I'm going to do it anyway, because I'll feel bad if I'm going home and I don't do this. This is a wealth building meeting, right? And you can't come to a wealth building meeting without some cash. This is a little crass and crude, but I'm going to throw it in the air. Right? I'm going to throw some over here, throw some this way. Wow, that one didn't split up. So I'm trying to get it back to you. Here's a heavy piece. All right, then make it back. That Ruth kind of repelled it. It didn't even want to go, oh, yeah. So that is, there you go. So, I wanted, you know they do this in bold. They do it very well. You know, they just, whoever they just throw it up. So, there you go. Here's the thing. What I wanted y'all to do was text somebody who's not in this room, and we don't know what's going to happen. Just for now, we're going to take the phone and text a good friend of yours, somebody that sits next to you in the office or something like that. If you don't have to try, and text someone that says, "There's money flying all over the place in here. You need to be in the training room." Just do that with curiosity. Don't give them.
What about putting it on our Facebook?
There you go. Do that. And you know, we don't know what's going to happen. They show up late. By the way, they're going to miss the whole darn thing. They've missed the best part of the darn story, right? So just text one person. And my theory is if you text one and you get one, then we double the size of the room. So it's just something I want to do with you guys.
Say that line again.
Oh, there's money all over the place. You should be in this room. Training room. What do you call it?
Yeah, the training room.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Yeah, whatever. You know, just what you're trying to do is get a listing appointment, Catherine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who do you know that's having trouble selling your home? That's a great curiosity question. Who do you know that's having trouble selling their home?
You just walk by.
So, yeah, don't reply. What do you mean? Just don't reply. Leave it out there hanging. Okay. Yeah. Just leave it out there. Suspending.
My phone on my clients.
And so the other thing I was going to do, is there like a basket y'all do for business cards or something?
Right over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that one?
There's another one below here, I think.
Yeah, there's a little bit bigger one. There's
I'll wear
a
my,
cool
I
little,
didn't know we were going to be able to film. I'll wear my training shoes.
cool little secret that
Well, just the
Maybe
great,
not.
this one, if I drop this out.
yeah, that's actually perfect. Check this out. Now, I've never done this stunt before. Nice, well done.
That was good.
Now what we're going to do is I have in my pocket a series of gift cards that'll buy you at least lunch, maybe a dinner. I have that. And what we're going to do is we're not going to put business cards in this bowl. What are we going to put in the bowl? Cell
Our
phones.
cell phone. Okay.
Hey, charge me $100, but you're damn right we are. So if you want to play for a free lunch or possible dinner, you put your phone in here. We're going to leave it right here.
You can take it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Would you help me with that? Would you be brave enough to gather their phones? Hey, no offense if you don't want to do it. No offense.
I don't care about the food.
What's that?
I'm giving my phone.
We're going to be about an hour and a half. Check it out. You know what I always say, and this is like really, hits home. If you had a stomach bug, and you spend a lot of time on the toilet, you would not be worried about your phone. So for about an hour and a half, just pretend you're just pretend you're indisposed. So,
I see what
All right.
you're doing over there.
Yeah, no,
just put them in there, you know, whatever. You know, if you don't want to play, you don't have to.
I don't
We're going to
wanna
randomly draw a
accidentally take
phone, and
his
that person gets the cards, okay? And there's 3 cards. Yeah, so almost everybody's going to get one. That's good. All right, good.
Somebody was busting in
Hey, and
there.
if somebody walks in from the text, no card. All right, just for fun. All right, so let's get to the prepared. Before we get to the prepared, any questions for me about anything I've mentioned? So not about anything going forward. Just any questions about what has happened to me over the last 12 years? Yes. Tim.
What kind of things did you put in place to get rid of the LCFs?
Oh, you know, that was, I gotta be honest with you, they were basic operational costs that had no return. I mean, none. I'll give you one I'll never forget. Somebody brought to me, there was a big marketing line item. I won't say which office, but there was a big market. It was $2,200 a month or some craziness. I looked at it just because it was a big percent of the total. I'm like, whoa, what is that? And then somebody brought me this cardboard, almost thick, a very thick, double-sided glossy color insert for the Houston Chronicle. And it had a bunch of little pictures of houses. You know, it's like the real estate book, but one cardboard page, and it was being inserted into the Chronicle for about $2,200 a month. I killed that so fast, it was like a cockroach on my food. Bam! Dead. It was a, you know, so that's really what it was. And then you can only compress costs so much, and then you got to grow revenue. CEOs talk about revenue all the time. CFOs talk about cost. I was interviewing a guy in Temple, Texas for my team leader over there. And we're at lunch, and he's like the #1 agent in Temple at RE/MAX. And we're talking and stuff, and he looks at Donna, and he says, so what is the monthly over there? And Donna kind of looks at me. We both knew that I was about to exit the lunch meeting. Because I had this guy, he's about 42, so he's about 36 or so million a year, asking us about what is in Waco. It's an $89 a month fee. And I thought, this guy's not even in our league. Why is he asking about this? I don't care what it is. What if I said it was 10,000 bucks? You're going to make 150 million. You know, stop having the small conversation. So when I'm meeting with an agent, we're just having the revenue conversation. It doesn't mean I don't care about the expense. You can only compress it so much. There's no more win there. You can't win anymore by squeezing it to death. It's just there, right? So I'm not saying throw all the money away. Look at it and rock on to the big number. You guys have been in real estate for a while. You know what I mean. You need another listing. But I sold 20 last year. I'm rich. No, you need another listing, right? Revenue-based thinking. So, yeah, good question. It's all just, it was just so, it was kind of easy because there was bad stuff being done.
Well, I just know that we have some agents who continually use the same methods and they don't know why they're not getting,
Right.
you know, it may have been outdated, or so they need to know that they're not getting their
Yeah,
revenue.
take another look at it. I mean, that when they talk about the shift, they say remargin your business. You know, every year remargin it. Stuff that worked last time probably don't work anymore. Ooh, lefty, awesome. I like that. My faves, good. Okay, so we're gonna go right in. This is gonna be fun. Listen to everybody. Everybody does it.
That's because
I gotta answer it. I knew this guy. He'd answer a phone. I swear to you, this he'd go, speak. That's how he would answer his phone.
That sounds cool.
Boy, it's giving instruction. Like who started hello?
ID.
Speak.
That's just rude. I've heard that before, other people do that.
Okay. Hey, let's get into this thing. And it is a mastermind, so you guys can speak.
Okay.
Get it? I didn't mean to do that. First of all, let's start with a definition of. And you guys gotta talk. You know, you gotta kind of give me some input. What would you say is your definition of wealth? In fact, write down in one sentence what you think wealth is, and then we're going to share it. If you look, I feel like I'm in high school. If you look up when you're done, I'll know you're done. Good. Awesome. There, all right, so, Ms. Mayor, what did you write
I
down?
looked up first. I did first. Freedom,
I like it. That's good.
happiness.
What did you write?
That's been having everything you need or want.
Okay. I like everything you need or want.
I put having your money build money without any debt.
Having your money build money. Oh, that's powerful. It reminds me of another. Yeah, good. What about you guys? Definition of wealth.
Debt free is what I'm saying.
Debt free.
I put the ability to live comfortable with no bad debt lingering.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. No bad debt.
No bad debt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good debt. It's good. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I like it. No bad debt lingering. Yeah, because it's it wears on you.
Happiness without worry.
Wow, I like it. Good. Ruth, what would you say?
Enough passive income to pay bills.
Yeah, I love the sophistication in the answer because of the word passive.
Mine would just be family.
Family, just having family be wealthy. I like it. Good.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I was beginning to feel corny.
No.
I'd say good health and happy grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing better for a parent than when the kids are happy and everybody's good. So, I knew we would have a good balance of logic-based answers and philosophical-based answers. So there's nothing wrong with the philosophical. In the context of this discussion, we're going to have to get more to logic, okay? Because, you know, we do a lot of charitable things at KW, and at Signature, our big thing right now is little children who can't buy school supplies, and veterans who come back who need to be reintegrated. Okay, it's a big thing for us right now. And then we thought, wow, that's our culture. We help people in the community. And then somebody said, yeah, and production funds culture. So there's a good example of a philosophical thing. This is what we do. It's from here, right? And production funds culture, right? We have guys and ladies who can just write checks for someone in the community. Right? All within Keller Williams. They say that the philanthropists, the wealthy people are the best philanthropists. Right? So I'm not, it's the old, you read it in the book, money, it's not about the money, it's about what you do with the money. Right? So I'm okay with, wow, because I want my family to be happy too. When we talk about wealth in this meeting, it's about how to gain enough revenue to fund all of that stuff. Right? Is that fair? So there's a good definition. We're going to talk about 3 L's to wealth. We're going to talk about wealth determiners. Has to be one of the big things in my life that is etched upon my brain. All right, is who are your wealth determiners? Who determines it for you? Right. We'll have a little session on massive passive, and then other KW opportunities that probably some of you guys hadn't even considered. And in fact, I'll tell you this. This is just a sharing from me to you. The hesitation that I felt a little bit in the room when I said, write down what you think it is, told me that you hadn't really thought about it a lot. You know, we just have to, what does that mean? Instead of going, oh, I know what it is, right? So there was a small hesitation, and I don't know if y'all felt it, but I'm looking at all of y'all, so I can kind of see, like, what does that mean? Right? So, by the way, wealth, in the discussion of wealth, ought to be just like what you're going to have for breakfast. It's like, oh, I got to decide that. So you got to talk about it, right? Don't put it away somewhere and hope that one, you know, you turn 72 and you're like, oh my God, a ton of gold bricks hit me on the head, I'm wealthy. It just doesn't show up that way, right? So, wealth defined by the internet. Some of you guys are pretty close. The definition here says, an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Now that's the kind of harsh one. An abundance of valuable possessions or money. We all know philosophically that's not wealth. But if you saw someone that had a very large home, 4 boats, an RV, you would assume that they are, yeah, but their kids could be broke and messed up, you know, so it doesn't mean that they've achieved anything, right? I was in Atlantic City, Tony Robbins was the guest speaker, he said, the biggest mistake you people make, and there was some successful people in the room, like, I ain't made no mistake. He was right. He says that you've confused success with achievement. He goes, success is achievement plus fulfillment. And fulfillment's the happy thing. The kids and the grandkids, everybody's happy and you're fulfilled. People think that they're wealthy, that they're fulfilled. That's not true, right?
Right.
So then the other definition is, I like this one better, plentiful supplies of a particular resource. Now, that could be things, but it could be plentiful supplies of people in your family who love you. There's a lot of them, a plentiful supply. Can we agree, now I'm just testing the room, can we agree that a good number would be 80, guessing very low?
Yeah.
Let's just go way low. 80, write that number in the bottom of the page real big, 80. And then on the top of the page, really? On the top of the page, write up, do a line, just do a line all the way across to the page and put a bar on one side and a bar on the other, you know, like bookends. Draw a line there, all the way across. It needs to be straight, please, or I'll reject it. All right, and on that line now, draw about 10 or 11 vertical lines about an inch apart, or 3/4 of an inch apart. Bunch of vertical lines on it. Bam, 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 bam. This is so much fun. Look up when you draw your lines. It should be real quick and messy, right? Now we're going to talk about the theory of SLEs. This I will actually take credit for coming up with myself with a 3.4 GPA, I promise you. About 3 years ago I started coaching my... I know. I'm getting older. And so I really forgot what it was. I think it was 3.7. I don't know, Brad. Anyway, that was like remedial English too. So anyway, my theory of SLEs. It's weird. It sounds different, but you've known it all of your life. It's weird. Significant life events. They are not the trip to Disney that you always wanted. That's not significant enough. I'm talking about the very first line is actually childbirth, like when you were born.
Triple bypass, all
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. And maybe as you graduate college, that might be one. Graduate college might be one. Let's go back to the late teens and work our way up, right? You graduate college and you've been dating the quarterback guy for a long time, and it comes time you're going to, what? Get married. Would that be significant when you got married? Who's been married in the house? Who's been married? All right, good. Who don't want to be married anymore? It's on video.
Today it's good.
Yeah, that's still the way to do it.
Today is good.
That is so the way to do it. So let's say that marriage is a significant life event. Would you agree? And then what about little kids? When you had kids, right? So that might be a line, or maybe if you had a couple of lines, right? In this case, there might be scars, but we'll just keep going, right? Good. And then maybe, from a career standpoint, do people have promotion? And it might be a big one, and it's a significant. Do they get terminated or released? They call it severance to be nice. Happened to me in 2004, June. Severance. Wow. I thought I had to look it up, but they gave me money to leave, and I left. They gave me 33 months of pay to leave the life company. You know what I think about? When I was little, there was cartoons. I think the Roadrunner was the cartoon. And when the Roadrunner would take off, it left little hairpins floating in the sky like that. That was me. There were hairpins floating, man. I was out there so fast. So, okay, job termination, job relocation. Now, those people that get married, sometimes it don't work. And that's what? Divorce, right? And then, miraculously, sometimes they go, let me try this again. I actually know someone who did with the same person. Crazy. Yeah, that's all right. And then, another thing on career, maybe retirement. Would you say that's a dash? Oh, the final day, right? And then what's the very, very last dash? Yeah, you don't come back from that. Now, what we've done is, you guys have to agree, and this is real life, you have to agree that these things that we mentioned were significant. Would you agree? There might even be a couple more. I'm giving you that. All in all, every time I teach this, we end up with about a dozen. It just comes out to be that. So what I want you to do is underneath every one of those dashes, but off to the right of it, like this. Here's the line down, and right off to the right of it, underneath, write a horizontal dash for every single one of those vertical lines. Just do it, like make an L out of that. You know, the line down and then a dash across. Line down, dash across. line down, dash across, got me? And so what we're doing here is we're identifying the absolutely true fact. In close proximity to a significant life event, there's a dashed line. The dashed line is a real estate transaction. In close proximity, it could be that day, it could be 30 days later. Rarely is it too far beyond. People get married, what do they want to do? They want to live together. That's the craziest idea ever. But yeah, they want to do that. Kid graduated from college, what do they want? Their own place. Then they get a reality check, move back home to mom. Right? People get a major promotion. What might happen? Now, people get divorced. Go find that vertical line and put 3 dashes under it. Why?
So they gotta sell their house and then they each gotta find a house.
You're so good. All right. And then there's remarriage, right? So there's another. Does new mama want to live in old mama's house?
No.
Take it from a guy. I haven't been divorced, but I mean, I hear that, right? They never feel like, oh, no way I'm doing this, right? Job change, a negative job change. It's significant, right? Do people need to get a different house then, right? Blah, 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 right? And then death, right? Death, do about 6 dashes underneath that. What am I talking about? Probate. Now immediately go to the bubble that has lawyers and put 2 big harsh circles in there. And if you don't have a probate attorney in your database receiving a 33 touch, and you don't have a divorce attorney in your database receiving a 33 touch, do it immediately. Those 2 people are at the center of 2 multi-transaction life events. You got me? Is there wealth on this page?
Yes.
All right, now let's do the math, because I know you want to be conservative. Some of you guys, if you get a stranger coming to teach, you don't believe some of the math. So we're going to do this. We're going to take the 80 and cut it in half. The 80 on the bottom, just cut it in half. Scratch through it, cut it in half. This is not Diana Kokosch, because she says scratch through and what?
Double it.
Yeah, she's insane. So I'm cutting it in half. 80 cut in half is 40. Let's take 12 life events and cut them in half. How many is that?
6.
Let's take 40 times 6. Do in our heads, 240. Now I'll help you with this. It's 240.
Somebody lost. What's the math question?
We've done 40 people
Yes.
who might only ever have 6 life events. Y'all with me?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 240. What's the price point here? Or what's the average commission?
5,500-ish.
There you go. You know what that number is? 1.320. 1.320 on this stupid little 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And now, it depends on what part of the country I'm in, and this joke sometimes doesn't go well. But I'm going to risk it because I'm from Texas. And even Jesus said this. When he arose from the dead, and he was off to the side of the tomb, and the 3 ladies went to go find him to retrieve the body. He's off to the side and he comments to the ladies. Y'all remember what he said?
What are you looking for?
Why do you seek the living among the dead? I get a chill when I say that, even as a joke. But you know what's going on here? And I'm going to say it to y'all because I really have a care for y'all. Is that you're seeking the living among the dead. You're doing that. And the dead are these people that are way out of your circle. Way out of your circle. You're chasing people down on 105. God forbid you bite a tire and you do that. The people are closer than you think.
That's true.
And the life events are right here. If you get masterful at being face to face with these people, one of 2 things will happen. You will either be told about the life event. It comes like this. Oh, dear Catherine, our daughter's getting married, and this is an invitation. We'd like you to come. That's how it really happens in real life, right? Or we're having this thing. Man, somebody's really rocking.
I think that's maybe
All right. So one thing would be that you get told about a life event. Now here's the magic, guys. Here's where your intellect goes way up.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's in here. The intellect goes way up when you can actually, you gotta grab this, you gotta catch this. You can actually anticipate the life event. Now what's an example of that? You see it coming. You're so close to them as a couple that you see this event coming.
You heard somebody had cancer. One of them has cancer.
Yeah. That's one example. What's another one? Go to dinner with this couple all the time, they're always fighting.
Yep.
What's coming? Right? You go to dinner and they say, it's got a little bump here. And it's a question no guy would ever ask, but girls might ask it. Oh, are you... Yeah. Right? So, my point is, you get in such close proximity that you can anticipate the life event. And what we're talking life event, translation, real estate transaction.
Right.
Guys, you're seeking the living among the dead, probably. I'm not even picking on you that hard. There's a good chance you're seeking the living among the dead. And the dead are all the strangers on Zillow and on 105 and 45 and HEB, all these crazy people you don't even know. Call and talk to these people. They're already in your life, and we cut half of them in half. It's $1.3 million in your face. I mean, it's right here, right? Has anything been rocket science so far?
Well, I think all the people that I am related to in here is more than I thought about. I mean, you get tired of being on a show all the time sometimes, you know?
I know. So pick your, what you want to.
Choose, yeah.
Once you did 1.3, stop.
They call me
Just quit. Hey, refer it. You got there's refer right there. 1.5%, 1.3.
I refer back, I get tired too.
That's right. Whoa. It's good though.
You get to a point and you go, man, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. 25%. Right? What's 25% of 1.3? Hello. We're not talking sales volume, ladies. We're talking GCI. This is really it. Even if the expenses are, what's the cap here? 38,000?
Yeah.
It ought to be.
Yeah.
It ought to be 38,000. After this class, because it doesn't matter if you're 1.3, you're going to pay somebody's cap for them. You go, oh, I know you're just getting started. Here's 18K. Do that. Do that one day. I dare you to do it. Because when is the day you can do that?
Nothing.
Damn right. I'm not BSing you guys. It's just real stuff I've learned over the last 12 years. Stepping over dollars to get done. Seeking living among the dead. I mean, these are all, you know, do expired script, do that. So I was talking to a guy the other day. He said, I've been stepping over dollars to get done. So I think I came to talk to you about that. What do you think about that quote? Ask an expired that. It'll get you in the door. All right, so we got to do this, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and one gentleman. Me? Thank you. All right. Oh, God, he's a guy. My GPA just went to 2.5. I just got crushed. Who, if I was like, you know, I grew up in the barrio of Southeast Houston. It's just kind of a small part of town. It's older and all that stuff. So if I was over there right now talking to some of my old friends, I would introduce this page with this quote. Who the hell are you hanging out with? But I'm not there, so I'm not going to say that because it has an expletive in it, so I won't use that word. Okay? So,
Guess we get a gentleman in the room.
yeah, hello. Oh, you putting that up good. You're back over here. Thank you. Still behind, but you're coming back. Lord, tough room, man. Hey, yeah, but who in the heck are you hanging around with? This will go back to my story. And no offense to anyone in my world, in the KW world, no offense to them. And I was told one time by a business partner, we want to do this. And it was so singular and so small, the gesture even made me go like this. And I thought, well, that's cool. I like being the master of that. But when I met Joe, he says, I want you to know, I have no limiting beliefs. And that opened up my brain so big. I can tell you, it's just amazing. You know, just one of those moments in your life when you go, oh yeah, why do I have them? I don't know my potential yet. I'm not gone. I'm not the last line on the thing. So I still have potential left in me, and we don't even know. So how can I gauge what's right for me? I promise you, when I started HL&P, I negotiated upward to $17,000 a year salary. They wanted to go 16.4. And I go, for all of this, dude, you got to go 17. I'm like, stupid, right? And I remember saying, honey, if I could get to $80,000 base pay, we'll be rich. I remember saying those words to my wife for 33 years. And then we got to 80, she was like, totally buying it. we're rich. You keep believing that, I win. I'm the king. You know, it's called under promise and over deliver. Right? We do that all the time. So she's stuck at 80. It's good. She don't even have to know that there's more in the bank. It's all good. You do that. And so Joe taught me that I should have wealth determiners. I should have them. And the conversation goes, so in your mind's eye, go around the room of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. Go around the room in your mind's eye. Who are those 5 people you hang around with the most? And then you got to ask your question, your own question. Are they wealth determiners for you? You got to know. And then figure out for this diagram only, not in your life, but you figure out in this diagram, have they earned the right to be in one of the bubbles? This is a wealth discussion. So yes, keep your pastor there, keep your kids in there for sure, although they are wealth suckers.
Yeah, right.
They're the reason you need this page.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need, like, right? Help me here, brother. So, yeah, and think about this. And we won't go into it in great detail, but you should have a criteria for who gets in the bubble. I think I wrote that down there. Who's allowed in, and what's your criteria? Anybody know Mike Fleming? Mike Fleming, a MAPS coach? He's about this tall. He's gray hair, and he's fought in Vietnam. He did planes upside down, bombing everything. He was a brave dude. And I remember taking a candidate of mine, a recruit, to Mega Camp. And this guy is Michael Davis. And Michael Davis, wiry guy, but he's about 6'4". And I go, hey man, come on over here, just like everybody. You want to meet my coach? You know, we're over there at Mega Camp in the open area, right? Come on over here, Michael. Meet Michael. Both Michaels. And Michael Davis goes, hello, sir. How you doing? He's a tall black guy, very respectful. He said, how you doing? And I said, this is Michael Davis, Michael Fleming, this is Michael Davis. And Michael Davis is evaluating coming to Keller Williams. And I swear to you, Michael Fleming looks up at him and goes, what's your criteria, son? Woo! Michael Davis, his knees kind of went like this. Because he ain't got no criteria. He didn't have any. He didn't know why he would move. He had no reason to. No one had talked him through that, right? My bad, right? We're evaluating opening a branch with those guys now because he joined up with another guy that's taken over an area. They're pretty strong now. They weren't big enough to do an MAO at the time, right? But little Michael asked big Michael that powerful question. It shook him at the knees. He said, what's your criteria, son? In old military talk, right? And Michael just peed his pants. So I would ask you the same thing. If you have wealth determiners and you need them to be wealthy, what's your criteria? Here's a clue. You can have your own, but these are mine. There's only 3. They must absolutely be passionate. I'll clarify in a minute. They must be intelligent.
There you go. That's a killer.
They must have that. Well, this is not designed to include. It's actually designed to exclude. It's my criteria. And the last thing is they must have a strong desire to grow. Passionate, intelligent, strong desire to grow. When I look at a human, I actually, in all honesty, you know, after all the niceness and all that, I'm actually asking my question in my head. Are they these 3 things? Notice there are 3, so a 3-legged stool will not stand if they're missing one. There's no free pass. No get out of jail free. Are they the 3 or not the 3?
Do you have to have 5?
That's the recommended daily allowance.
Well,
Yeah.
you're the average
FGM.
of the 5 or 6 people that you run around with.
Yeah.
You see, my problem is that I don't hang out that much. I mean, not like,
With your kids and you do at school.
Yeah.
but not like,
With others.
Your best friend with others.
exactly, to like get close, because I'm always working.
What would the solution be?
To reach out. To reach out.
That's church.
She does.
Yeah. Face to face trumps everything.
Same as for me.
I know, I'm face to face, I mean, that, but I'm saying like, the people that I don't think I even have 5 people that I like even let in my,
And you need a bigger circle. Yeah.
Bigger
You need to get out of that sphere.
because I'm always
We're
working.
protected.
Exactly.
Because it's.
I'm my part,
You know what? I didn't actually know Joe Rothschild. I had heard of him. I heard he was some big agent or whatever. And I drove 38 miles one night against, or along with the prayer of one of my friends to go meet this clown that I thought I kind of thought, I'm not sure, because all the stuff I had heard was all wrong, by the way. Some numbskulls who didn't understand generosity at a high level. That's what Joe is. And he may have taken him out in the real estate deal over 33 years, since he's been in business. You can't get mad. Get all emotional, get over it. Build a bridge, get over it. So, have you taken bold?
6.
6 times? Okay. Because I recognize my problem is, that's not a, you better have a solution right after that.
I know.
Okay, all right, good. You're left-handed, we hang like this. We're
I'm
like this.
there with you.
Don't let me down.
I'm there with
So, yeah, hit 5.
I just spend a lot of time.
I actually have 2 blanks right now. I've got 2 blanks on mine right
Well,
now.
I'm just not, I'm not saying that I can't, because I
Right.
can.
Yeah.
However, I just spend a lot of time with my,
Well, wait,
I know
guys,
what
we're
you're
gonna move on, because, we're 35 minutes and we're gonna time for questions. Now, check it out, the next page is this. So you gotta have 5. Get 5, you don't have 5. I'm 55 years old, and I don't have 5 right now. I had 4, and then 1 went away, and I got 3, so I need to put 3 more, right? So,
Promiscuity is power, I like that one.
proximity. You so translate, I said, oh my God, that would be a major, that'd be a big typo. So, here's the deal. Get close to them. Whoever they are, get close to them. And I thought this is where you're going, Ruth, is that your wealth, all the big things in life, your physical health, your wealth, your spirituality, love, happiness, all of those critical life-sustaining things will elevate or drop to the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Y'all have heard this before. If you haven't, just believe it, right? It'll migrate to that average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So what I'm telling you right now, honestly, just between us girls, is that you might have to clip some wings for the people around your wealth. Now, the people you hang out and have margarita with and all that stuff, whatever y'all do, they're not in your wealth strategy. The ones that are have to have something. For me, it's passion, intellect, and a strong desire to grow. Notice I said passion. Passion for what?
Something of value.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just give me some blood flow, baby. Don't, I can't have a flat line. You got to tell me that I want something.
Right.
Right? Are y'all cool with that? So make up your own criteria. You may borrow mine. I borrowed it from John Maxwell. You can borrow mine. It's pretty good. It eliminates a lot of people.
He also said something about charisma. I remember we had a mastermind in Austin, and he named. Remember, it was what does it take to get into your top 5?
Yeah.
Regarding that football player that had lied to the Atlanta Falcons
right.
owner about dogfighting.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And he named one of them was charisma or something.
Yeah, I can't remember specifically. Yeah. So have it, make it simple, but make it almost bone piercing. Like it's got to cut through the spine. You got to go, I can test these 3 things along this person's spine. Like, what are they made of? Test them. If you don't like it, don't go soft. That's all I'm telling you, because then the world will get in. Everybody can get in. Massive passage, let's go to this one real quick. You've seen this chart before, I'm sure. My intention on this was to ask you how you introduce other agents to leadership at Keller Williams. What words do y'all use?
Education.
You say it. Let's role play real quick. First name?
Glenda.
Glenda? All right, Glenda, I'm Al. I'm a cold dead banker down the street. I'm at that brokerage. And so we just did a deal together, and it worked out really well. We both got paid. And we're leaving the title company, and you want to say something to me really bad. What is that?
What was your name again?
Al.
Oh, okay. Al.
Gentleman Al. Just call me that. Yeah.
By chance, would you be happy, with the brokerage that you're
I love her. She's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay. Hey, kudos for being the first trying it, right? All right, here's the second one. You had something? We're going to do it again. Same scenario. Just did a great deal together, and I'm about to go.
Al, you were awesome. I was impressed with the way that you performed today.
Thank you.
Had you ever thought about checking out another brokerage?
Not really. I hadn't thought about it. I'm doing so well where I am.
I understand that. Do they have the training? Have you been taught?
Sort of. We did a pretty good deal together.
We did. Did
Yeah.
I teach you a couple of things?
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, and by the way, that's better. Somebody give me something
Okay,
else.
somebody else beat me.
Somebody else give me something else. We're about to go.
Okay, I would get that, I went to a closing and they're always saying, oh, you were so much fun to work with. And I said, but that comes from my background in Keller Williams. We have a ball over here. Have you ever thought about changing over? Because you know what I did for you, I just picked up the ball on a couple of things. You were out of town and that's fine, and a couple of things you did for me.
You did help me. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and it worked out and we just connected. So you gotta come on over. We even got a spot at the lake for you.
Wow. Man, that sounds very attractive. You know, my broker is actually my cousin. I'm pretty loyal.
But yeah, but cousins are it's gonna take a little bit from you. We got a better deal over
And
here.
by the way, don't argue with me about it. Don't argue with them about
Oh.
it. Here's the deal. I call the magic to this, just like Expireds and the SLEs, there's a magic pill. The magic pill here is be good and be nice. That's it. Now what I mean by be good at real estate, so eyes are on you. Like, holy cow, I have heard about you. I've been waiting 10 years to do a deal with you, Catherine. I've heard all about you. You know, like, I'm almost admiring you. You know what I mean? As another agent. Or at least have mutual respect. So, be good. Like, go talk to an expired, for God's sake, or get face-to-face with somebody in your sphere. Be good in production, and then be nice. And by the way, here's my be nice. Have you heard about the programs at Keller Williams? We're having an ALC panel at our next meeting, or whatever's coming up. I'd like to invite you to sit with me at that. It'll be about 35 minutes. I'd like to invite you. Who has a little kid in the room? Anybody? How old?
1.5.
1.5. Have you had the first big birthday party for kids? Have you? Okay. And how many people came?
There was probably 100.
Like, yikes.
Whoa.
But
Okay.
it was a Keller Williams. It was.
I got it.
Like,
So what did the invitation sound or look like?
It was adorable. It had his picture eating cake.
Guys, invite them. Don't convert them. Hell, call me, I'll help you convert them. Yeah, invite them as if they were coming to a little kid's party. Well, I wouldn't go to that these days. No offense, I just try to steer clear. If I see a Chuck E. Cheese, I just turn. So, yeah, right? So, be good and be nice. Invite, don't convert. Please don't convert. Because to be honest with you, you get a C maximum today from a high-level TL. I'm going to give you a C just because I like you on your conversion script. Now, we're just being real, guys. You're not a converter. Be nice. You're already really nice. I know that. You've tolerated me for an hour and a half. So you're already there. Just do that. Have you heard about the programs at Keller Williams? Yes, I have. Great. You should meet my team leader. No, I've never heard of him. Great. You should meet my team leader. That's it. Write that down. That's it. If you get any more complex than that, you're messing it up. I'm being real with you. I do this for a living every day. And no one ever wants to be gotten. Anybody in the room old enough to remember the MCI phone calls, long distance, during dinner? I am. MC. Thank you. MCI used to be in the dinosaur days. It was a long distance company. And they'd call you and try and recruit you. Hey, you want to leave your Southwestern Bell? You want to, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, dude, I'm having steak. Leave me alone. No one wants to be gotten, right? Not even spouses, right? You want to be courted, you want to be good, oh, he's kind of good, and he's really not. It's the same thing. Don't mess it up. They like you, they don't want to be dragged in, so y'all know about it. You know how you get paid, right? How much has been given back to agents since the program began? Give me some numbers.
I know, from here today it was mentioned, it was, what is over
100 million? 129 million.
For this year?
This year.
For this year?
Yeah, I'm talking about since 1997.
Oh,
Wow. Who knows?
So it's over
That's a
100
year
years.
I graduated high school.
If you had to guess, what would the answer be? That's another great question for an expired. Why did your house didn't sell? If you had to guess, what would the answer be? So what's the
In
number?
the billions.
No.
Very close to $1 billion, I'll give it to you. 793 million.
Really?
It's gonna be over $1 billion.
793 million.
Since
These are
97.
big numbers.
Wow.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the 1.3 number. It's kind of like the 1,000,000.008,000. These are some big freaking numbers. We're talking about wealth here, guys. We're not talking about 3% of a $180,000 home. No. Our mindset is different now than even an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
And we're talking 793 million. And if you were the worst possible talent attractor on the planet, if you were like the lowest, worst one, and you got 1% of this year's profit share, what would your wealth be? A lot. What would you said, 129 million? Yeah. Woo! Yeah, hello guys. Quit seeking the living among the dead. Alright? And notice the scenario I teed up. It's the one that you're doing a deal with. It's the buyer's agent who brought you the darn buyer to this phenomenal expired that you converted. It's right here. That's the magic. It's right there. Isn't that cool? So I like number 2 there. I think, did I include that in this one? Yeah. So circle that one. That kind of covers everything. Wouldn't it be cool to have a plentiful supply of people who love you and take care of you? Versus one? Right? If that one person walks out on the freeway, something bad happens, you know, they're gone. You got to have a bunch of them, right? So good. My next big thing is, and I've already told this story, flip the page, for God's sakes. Whatever you're thinking now, whatever it is, just think bigger. That's all I wanted to spin on that page. Right? Because that's been one of my mistakes. I thought I was thinking big. And then I thought, wow, 1,000 business cards? Really, dude? They weren't even the fancy ones I have now. They were just whatever you get for 50 bucks. 1,000 cards for them. I was like, booyah, they gave me cards. Right? Y'all get cards when y'all join here? Do we get cards here? No cards.
No.
All right, good. 3 L's to wealth. Let's do this one. This is going to sound like a repeat if you've been to any mega camp or any Ignite training or any bowl. What are the 3 L's? Okay. So what I wanted to do is give you a market snapshot, and this is of your market. Because I don't know what you thought we were going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some other things regarding wealth, but there's some stuff right in front of you. Okay, and I have an agent in my office. She was on a panel today, husband and wife team. They're called the Logan Group. And last month, their GCI was 509. Last month. In good old Cypress, Texas. Price point, 240 maybe, 220 maybe. 4.5. All in there. Last month it was 509. The month before, 500 even. The month before, 467,000. This is not sales volume. This is commissions. If I go further back, it was low 4s, and then it was 197 in January. Okay? So you can actually be wealthy by some definition just by doing the 3, I'm going to add another letter, 3 freaking L's.
Yeah.
Way on the bottom.
Yeah, that's.
Hi.
Hi.
We'll see how long they ring.
Hey, I like this room.
Yeah, hey.
I like money.
All right, good. Come on, have a seat. And
Do I just pick it up?
No, you don't.
oh,
You haven't earned it yet.
there's
You
your
haven't
friends
earned
for
it
you.
yet.
That's what friends are for. You can have one of these.
Yeah.
This
Thank
is
you.
my pile.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't expect what people would say when they walk in. Yeah. Have a seat anywhere.
The phone number?
She's gonna go right there with mine's out.
All right.
She's gonna put her phone in the bucket.
Oh, okay.
What's that for?
Well,
And find out.
That
That mean I'm gonna win a 7 maybe?
you might. So what I did was I'm going to draw your attention and your eyeballs to your market. So this is something out of Broker Metrics. You've heard the tool. Keep going.
Yes, that's
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, it's weird.
You got weirded out. Try this one.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah.
It was an imprint.
So what I want, do y'all know what this is? Have y'all looked at this before? Y'all checked this thing out before? So the tallest red bar, it's your market, and I just chose Conroe. So I'm sure y'all work outside of that and all that, but I just chose Conroe to give you an idea what the trends are. So the tallest red bar are new entrants into the market monthly. You're missing yours too, Jennifer?
Yeah, that's right, I'll share with her. I see.
Okay, all right. So the tallest red bar is the number of new listings that come onto the market every month. Okay, and you can see that it's in the range of 250 to 300. new entrants into the market every month. Okay? I might see if it's in here. I'm sorry. There's a story behind even the printing of these. Joe's OCD. Joe Rothschild, major, like everything in its place, and I'm 2x that. I'm 2 times that. And when the wonderful ladies up front in my office printed this for the first time, that bottom line, that red line, on the other pages, the red line like that, see the red line on the bottom? It was askew. It was heading upward. And so I checked the stack for another one that was straight, and they were all kind of that way. I go, oh, I'm not driving to Conroe, Texas. And having a crooked line on the bottom. And I said, by the way, I'm leaving in 12 minutes. And they died. So, I mean, even, I don't even want to talk about it, but give me a, see where the staple is on this one? That's how it should be. Parallel to the top of the page. If it's crooked in any way, it's a bad day in Al Rincon's life. So anyway, that's just my problem. Sorry. It's a little, you got to be a little crazy to do this business, right? Okay, so you've got your own things, and I'm not asking you about it. I got mine, okay? So the big red line is the new entrants into the market. These are people who have said yes to people like you. And they are in the, what, 250 to 300 range. It looks like last month there was over 300 that said yes to y'all. What's the average price point in Conroe? 240? And now this is going to backfire on me because I usually have everybody pull out their calculator. So I'm going to do the math for you. 240,000 times, let's say, would you agree there's 325 in the last month on the far right?
Yes.
That's 78 million in listed volume. So this is the opportunity of the market. It's one of them. And people have already said yes to 78 million. They're on the market, right? The next bar I want you to look at is the green one, and that is the ones that have sold. Okay? And the one that I teach on almost every week, and Katie, is the purple bar. It looks blue on the printed page. But the purple bar shows about 140 expireds. How often? Every month in this market. So I'm going to do that number for you real quick. 140 times 240,000 is $33,600,000 in sales volume times 0.0. Y'all get 4% listing or 3? 3. Oh, y'all should get 4. That's $1,008,000 in unearned revenue. You got me? Like they're falling out back right now. In fact, right now, it's happening again. So that's money. I call them failures. And Katie, I go, what's the purple bar? And they go, failures. And the new person in the back goes, expires. They don't know yet. They are failures because we as realtors went there one night and promised to do all this, the sun, the moon, the sky, and we could sell in 3 hours and all that stuff, and then we lied. We got out-scripted by the client on price, and it expires over 6 months, whatever y'all do. 6, 9, 12? Yeah. Yeah. So it basically makes you someone who doesn't tell the truth. You need to own that, guys. Right? Sorry. You don't hardly know me, but I'm like picking on you now. Because we lie. We say, I can sell it, and then we can't. The good news for y'all in the room is that you know that there's $1 million in commissions. It's going to be available when?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Because you see it over the last 12 months it's happened. What likely might happen in the next month? Maybe more. Right? In December, there's going to be a whole lot of them. In Katie, that number is 1.7 commissions every month the last 3 years. 380 something go expired every month. That is, I would run out of this room so fast and get a good door knocking script for expires. Just came by this morning as a courtesy. Wondered if you knew your house would no longer be marketed by your agent. Oh, but it is. What do you mean? Oh, there's a sign in the yard. Second piece of bad news, that's a violation.
It's expired with about the sign in the yard.
Ah. Right? Mm-hmm. So before I go, just as a courtesy, I was wondering if it had sold, where were you going? Now I got sorrow in my voice, right? All of it's on purpose. Got it? If it had, and I'm also kidding the heck out of here. because his mama might be the realtor. You know, you don't know. They were close because he got the deal, whoever it was. And I'm throwing a dart on the way out. I wondered, just as a courtesy, if they had sold it, where were you guys going? Now, what if the answer is to go next to grandma because the grandkids are getting bigger and they kind of miss her. Tired of FaceTiming her. We got to get to Denver. What if that's the answer?
I say, I know a house for you.
Yeah. Oh, Denver. Yeah. Say, I got Tuesday at 2 or right now. I can do this in 20 minutes. I'll cover the 3 things that will cause this not to happen again. What are they? I need 40 minutes. Is your wife here? Then there's only 3 things. Cause this to never happen again. Boom. It's PCM. Price, condition, and marketing. And I own marketing. I'm really good at it. Sold 3,000 homes last year. What's our unit count last year? Closed volume. Any idea? 3,000, 4,000? Lot.
I think it was like 25.
It's 3,886 in Katy. And when you say that number versus around 4,000, you're smarter. There was 3,886 homes that we sold last year. I'm certain we can sell this one. With power, right? So I'm still talking about wealth. It's just right here. There's $1 million in wealth that didn't get letted out to somebody last month. I'm offended. You should be too. It's your market. I don't live here, right? If I was a seller in this market, boy, I'd be telling you all a different message right now. Blankety blank, da da da. I thought you said you could do, you know, something like that, right? You know they're saying it at home, right? So I'm just bringing it to you, right? So expireds is the huge opportunity for wealth. We did the math. It's $1,008,000. Yes?
How do you overcome, because we have a lot of agents that say, oh, well, I've already called everybody that's expired, and that same person's getting 30 phone calls.
I'd say go to bold. That's my quick answer. Go to bold because there's a whole chapter on how to overcome that stuff. One of my favorite questions is, where were you going, really? And comparing to other agents, and there's so many ways you can go on that. When are you ready to hire the right agent to sell your home? I understand there's a lot of people. Who's here talking to you now? You know, and you might throw a couple of data points in. You got to appear. Believe me, I don't know what my IQ is. I was okay. I was a 3.97 in college, right? Or 7.9. I forget. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I made the dean's list once. Pretty cool. It's funny how you run to the wall and go, I'm on there. And nobody cares. And so, my point of it, you have to create the perception of intellect. You don't have to crank up your intellect. Don't go back for a PhD in genetic science. Don't go back to school for that. All right? But you do have to create the perception of intellect, like the LP to SP ratio. I just wondered if you knew. You can listen to me tonight and price it correctly, move to the front of the line. You can listen to me tonight, price it correctly, move to the front of the line. What do you mean front of the line? Well, there's 350 that are coming on the market every month. Would you like to be the front of the line? Yeah, okay, good. Price it correctly, listen to me, price it correctly, move to the front of the line. The gesture is part of the script. Got it? Right? Right? Who doesn't want to move to the front of the line? There's only one group of people that don't want to move to the front of the line. Who are they? Death row inmates. Hey, just being real, right? Who's like, me? Pick me. Yeah, okay. So the pricing scripts are critical. The expireds are just there. What I love about expireds the most, 2 things. They want to sell, so I'm not guessing. There's a sign in the yard. And then maybe the better thing is, they've agreed to pay me. Oh my God, there's $1 million in expireds a month. Would you be wealthy with $1 million, assuming the kids were happy and everything? Would you consider yourself wealthy?
If all my bad debt was gone.
And bad debt, yeah. Even your good debt would be gone. $1 million, right?
$1 million a month, I'd be okay.
And I'll give you the secret, guys. The philosophical definitions of wealth, actually, the kids get happier. They can be happy now, but they actually get a little happier when mom and dad got $1 million. I don't know why that is. They just do. Yeah, they just do.
Inheritance.
Somebody's coming down the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Remember the story about buying a house in Siena? You were thinking about it? My son at dinner last night says, "Hey Dad, I can come live with y'all and pay you part of the rent." I'm like, "No, I can afford it. I don't need you to help me." You know, I see what he's trying to do. I'm like, make your own plan, dude.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to show you this. Now, is that fair? I've given you $1 million a month possibility, even if you're the lowest, absolute worst script person on the planet, and you couldn't close a door. If you were that person and you performed at 1% of the opportunity, how much is it? If I had a microphone, I would drop it. Yeah. If you did 1% of the million that's available, you'd be at 100 grand. Oh my God. It's 1.2 a year. Oh, well, we'll just be among the poor at 1.2, right? And Warren Buffett and all these guys, they can laugh at us.
Right.
Whatever. I'm just saying it's right here, guys. Yeah, I don't know whether you thought about it, but it's right here. It's funny, I suspected it because it's in Katy. And I said, let me run their Inspire. I'm like, whoa, they're rich already, they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Why am I talking to them about wealth? You know? So guys, I'm telling you, they're right here. And if they still have a reason to move, you should be at the front door. But then you go, well, what about Red X and the Redfin or whatever the heck they used to call these people? Those numbers are no good, they don't pay. Right! If I told you there was $1 million on a certain address in Conroe, it's on the porch. There's a stack of $1 million like that. Would you try to call them to ask them if you could come over to go get the money?
No.
You'd go see them.
Yes.
Here's another thing I learned over the years. I took it out of this slide. It was a different presentation. But right, face to face trumps everything in all caps. Face to face trumps everything. Oh, and I got a super badass vehicle wrap. I have a billboard on the lake. My aunt's the mayor of Conroe. You get every face to face trumps it all. Promise you, right? Oh, their mama is the current realtor. Get face to face. You can trump somebody's mom if you do it right. I mean, you know how tight that is,
I agree.
right? You could trump the mom. So, Mom, have a seat. I'm gonna let a pro do my house, right? Sell the house, move on closer or further from Mom. I don't know. So the next slide says, know your potential. Know your potential. So right now, what's the potential every month of earnings of the people in this room?
$1 million.
At least $1 million. We haven't even talked about something else. So we're going to flip the page twice. It should say expireds and SLEs. See that one? And I sure hope to God you have the next page. If you don't, we're going to make copies. It's this page. Nuh-uh, really?
I don't have it either.
I can go there.
Yeah.
How many?
How about you?
It's still the same thing.
Well,
Yeah.
She's one.
do I need 3 copies?
Yeah. You're out too? Oh, okay.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
She just wants the darker version.
Oh, okay.
If mine's darker, I'll bring it to you.
Yeah. So you know what? While we do copies, can we do aha so far? Can we circle the room and go, aha, so far? What do you got? Yes, ma'am.
I've never looked back and worked it back.
That's fair. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else?
That was an
Yes,
aha.
Jennifer.
Whatever you're thinking, think bigger.
Oh, please. Yeah. What else?
Everything should be face to face.
Everything.
Everything.
If you think about all the important things in life, all of them. The marriage proposal, who does it? They might do FaceTime now, but nowadays, that's just so critically important that you would not think of doing that non-face-to-face. Right? All the important things in our life have been done face-to-face. I mean, I joked one time we were on a roll and somebody said, what about conception of children? Yes, it should be face-to-face. I mean, all the big things in life happen that way. Right? So, yeah, that's a great aha. Face-to-face trumps everything. Everything. What was another? So, yeah.
Creating the perception of intellect.
Yeah.
That one was, because there's a lot of people, a whole lot smarter than what I am. but they want to hear what I've got to say.
Yeah. Isn't that
Because
cool?
they really don't know real estate.
They're geniuses at what they do.
Yeah.
And give them cred. Give it to them. Really. Yeah, Ruth, go ahead.
Based on what,
But that was her book.
That's her book, I just need a copy.
oh, the technique of using statistics
Yeah.
and things to make yourself look intelligent.
Get
You know,
precise.
Yeah, Mary Tennant said, let the statistics do the heavy lifting.
Thank you.
That's right, that's a good.
And you didn't make them. You're just like
Right,
quoting them.
yeah.
Another real good stat, by the way, is the LP to SP ratio. That's what I was going to share earlier. You got diverted. LP to SP ratio. I want you to know what it is in your market. I didn't have a chance to look at that. Y'all know what it is? It's more, sometimes they call it OP to SP, the original price to sold price ratio.
I think it varies from neighborhood to neighborhood, doesn't it, Catherine?
Probably.
I
The-
think the
Original
list
price to sold price, like
yeah.
if you sell it for 100, I mean, list 100, sold for 98, that's a
Yeah.
0.98 ratio.
Yeah, I
Now,
think
here's
it's,
the more in-depth stat. If you know this, they're going to think that you created the internet. If you know this one, I promise you. It is the OP to SP with no price reductions, and the OP to SP with one or more price reductions. And they are different. In the Pearland market and in the Katy market, there is 6.5 to 8 percentage points different. Let's say no price reductions, they're a 0.98. That means if you list the house 100,000, it's going to sell for about 98. With no price reductions. With price reductions, even just one for $1 or $10,000, doesn't matter. One or more price reductions will go to 0.92. It's shocking. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about this, and never say it out loud to them, but think about, if you don't listen to my guidance on pricing, I'm going to cost you 6% times 300,000. I'm going to cost you $18,000, absolutely certain. I came by tonight to cost you $18,000. That's what you're saying. If you don't price it correctly on night number 1. And don't give me that, well, it's in my listing agreement. 7 days later, no showings, we're going to have a conversation. Well, you're already in the second bucket. Might as well throw the 18 on the table. You're already in the second bucket. Stop. Learn how to say, under those conditions, I'm certain we cannot be successful together. That's my way of saying, Dancing with the Stars starts in 6 minutes. You're wasting my time. I got to go. And I hate Dancing with the Stars. I'd rather do root canal. Right? But then I'd rather do that rather than take an overpriced listing. And don't give me the argument, but it's embedded in the listing agreement. I'm going to have a conversation. They promise. They might fire you before the darn date comes. You know, 11 showings, no offer, blah, blah, blah. Don't take it wrong, because you become a liar in 6 months. Remember the expires? Just cough it up. Say, look, don't listen to me. It's going to cost 18 grand, so I'd hate to do that to you. You know what the number is. You know, it's 5% differential times the price of the house. If it's 5% differential, $200,000 house, well, it's 10 grand. May I explain? What do you mean? Well, I just don't want to cost you 10 grand. I came over tonight to list and sell your home. And it would really hurt my heart to cost you 10 grand. May I explain? Well, there's this SP to OP ratio. There's a graph. You show them there's 2 bars. One's taller, one's lower. So if you just miss it by 1 price reduction, you're going to be in the second bucket. This costs you 10 grand and it's $200,000. And I just promised to come over to sell your home, and I hate to be the guy that costs you 10 grand. I really hate to be that person.
How long have you been in real estate?
12 months. 12 years. Yeah. So yeah, guys, this is just stuff. You know, we haven't even got to the real juicy part of it. This is the stuff. There's a phrase in Keller Williams, you've heard it, please don't step over dollars to get to dimes. You've heard that in a bunch of different contexts. What I'm saying here is, man, the dollars are right here. The bar charts that show you it's $1 million a month. Go get them. Now back to this. You can tell I get passionate about this business, guys, because I see what it does to agents and their lives. And if you have an office like mine, we have 7 of the largest teams in Houston in my office. And when I went to congratulate Lance Logan on the $509,000 in 1 month, he brought his team into the room. And about half the team was there. It was about 25 people. And I thought, wow, this guy's responsible for the souls and the families of these team members. And depending on how good they are, they're responsible for that many lives and transactions. Average family, 2 1/4 kid, right? So 2 1/4 kid plus 2 parents is 4 1/4 times X many transactions. There's just a darn, there's an obligation to do it right. Isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. I'm glad y'all are here today. Let's talk about this, because this is mind-blowing right here. It requires some work on your part. And we're gonna, this is the, what is this called? Yeah, the sphere of influence. People I know, people who love me, and people that I should know, actually. So let's look at some bubbles that have multiple people in them. They are friends, it's about the upper middle of the page, and there are relatives in the bottom part of the page, and bottom left, there's church members. In anybody's life, there are multiple people in those bubbles. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right, y'all with me? Right, so right now, write in multiples of 10, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, whatever. Write that number of people you know in each of those three bubbles. Write it right over the bubble, like 10 friends, or 5 if you're me, like a 5-year-old. Yeah, church, how many would you know? These are the people you would have OJ and donuts with, you know, not the whole congregation, right? Oh, okay, yeah, you're a pastor. Yeah. So, yeah, put 10, 20, 30, 40 on the multiple ones. And then look up when you're done, because now I'm realizing we got an hour left.
There was 4 buttons, where's the?
There were 3. 3 with multiples.
Relatives and
Yeah.
church.
Relatives, church, and friends.
Oh. That's, yeah.
We'll just put 10 there. Just go low. Put 10, or put 1 if you want to be real about it. Put 1. You got 1 relative left. You're the last person in the whole lineage. Then you put 1. And I'd start, you know, reproducing really quick. You're almost out. Your name is about gone. So, all right, now because the rock stars in the room, I want you to go to former buyers and former sellers and put a multiple of 10 there. Quickly. Now I'm rushing because I'm talking too much. My fault. I love that. My fault, and then you pay for it. Right faster.
Multiples of 10.
Oh, multiples of 10.
Yeah. So 10, 20, 30, da, da, da. And
And
let's see.
Buyers and what?
Sellers.
Yeah. You might even put 1 or 2 for the title company and mortgage company. Put there. Right. My gosh. 1 insurance agent, 1 dentist, 1 doctor, 1 spouse, hopefully. If you know, you have one.
Lawyer should be.
Okay, and then we're going to go over here. It's the kind of middle left. The middle left. It says manager of your favorite restaurant. Who knows the manager of your favorite restaurant? Who actually knows that person by first name? Who is it, Mayor?
Dan McIntyre, Melvin,
Love it. Way to go. Good. So put a little dot in there for him, all right? And then the manager or owner at the grocery store you frequent most, and the manager or owner at the gas station you frequent most. And the reason I'm picking on them is that a lot of your money flows that way monthly. This is a wealth discussion. A lot of your money. Some people got like 4 kids and their grocery bill's like $1,000 a month. That's a lot of money. Next time you go in there, you compliment the cashier and say, who's in charge today? Say, hey, thank you for checking me out today. Who would you say was in charge this afternoon? Well, it's the manager, Manager Mike. Could you call him over, please? Manager Mike to aisle 4. Manager Mike comes over. Manager Mike, I come here all the time. Translation?
Money.
A lot of money. I come here all the time. But today, cashier Kathy was off the charts. And I just wanted you to know that. She took care of us and wrung us out quickly. She even smiled. And I'm sure, Manager Mike, that is because of your leadership and training.
Compliment building.
And as that's going on, like I said, I come here all the time. And I'm happy to help you with your real estate needs. Okay. Right? Oh, what's Becky doing? I mean, cashier Kathy. Right? Ah, me, can I have a card? I want to get in real estate. Right? Boom. So that's, and you can do it at a restaurant too. Waiter knocks it off the chain one night. So, waiter Willie, who's in charge tonight? Now, what does he think right away? Yeah. It's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's all good. That's part of the script. And the manager comes over and says, man, we come, my family, this is my family. We come here all the time. Great, welcome back. Yeah. Is there anything I can help you with? We come here all the time. And tonight, this guy killed it. And I just wanted you to know. It's probably because of your leadership and training. Right? And so, because we come here all the time, I'm happy to help you with real estate needs. right? And then drop a 30% at least gratuity on the guy. Go big. Put your card in. All right? Oh, okay. We may not get to it.
No, I was talking about your screen. Your screen.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's cool. We'll get to it.
Okay.
No worries. This is pretty powerful. This might be the most powerful thing, except for the last slide. Okay? Because the last slide says, I'm out of here, bye. No. I heard a joke the other day. He says, man, I know this guy, he lights up the room when he leaves it. Wow. He can light up a room when he leaves it. Okay, so what are some of the numbers, if you added up the multiples of 10, what are some of the numbers you added up? What are some of your numbers on your page? 30, 40, 60 total? Oh, 300? 50 or so?
Well, I mean, I broke it down, I don't want to exaggerate.
Yeah, no. What would you say?
80 and 50 and 5 and 3 and 18 and 1 and 1 and...
Man, that's a couple hundred, right? How many did you come up with? What if you...
We need our phone, we need our
I know.
calculator.
Well, if you have to guess at what the number is, that's why I said multiple to 10. You can go 10, 20, 30 in that bunch, 30 in that bunch, not 90. All right. And that's right, that's how you get paid, by the way. Never ask how the calculation's done. Yesterday, on the front corner of my desk, correctly placed, was my profit share report. It was awesome. I just kind of left it there so that some of my agents would accidentally see it. It's like 3 pages long. It's all right. All right?
I think you're in mine, Al.
I think so.
I think so.
Is Judy in yours? Carol?
We didn't invite her.
Yeah,
I have 30 people. I have 30 people.
Yeah. We're good. I think we are connected that way.
So, recruit.
God forbid you end up with a team leader and an OP in your
That's
down
right.
there.
Yeah. That's right.
You mess it up big time. Do that. Just ruin it for yourself.
Yeah.
Get a team leader. And the only way you find a team leader is you get in front of agents who are doing the other side of the deal and you examine, are they passionate, intelligent, strong desire to grow? You better be asking those questions. Some of you guys are going to go tonight and get rid of a spouse because they don't get So, the next page.
I'm not, don't worry.
Yeah. That was Mike.
That's good.
Good.
He's good, yeah.
Give him a hug for me. I haven't seen him in forever.
I'll tell him.
God, doggy. Tell me he owes me some golf, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
you guys can down say again, you and your wife.
Okay.
Okay.
Done.
All right, it's done.
There we go.
See, now, I'm asking myself the 3 questions about you.
Hey, should I be in your circle? I don't know. All right. Magic pen. Large text. Right. Carry it around with you. This is something I actually learned. When do I have coaching call? Wednesday at 8:30. I was further enlightened about this page. There's a thing going on in real estate. NAR has a 33% attrition rate. NAR does. You know what NAR is? That's all of them, right? They have a 33% attrition rate. Attrition means people who leave the industry. And there's 1.4 million agents in the nation. So 33% of 1.4 million is 52. 520? 52,000, something like that, are going to leave the industry. That's an attrition rate. They're just going. Some shouldn't have been in to begin with. We know that, right? And so on this call I was having with my mastery coach, and if you ain't got one, you should probably get one. Mastery coach ought to be sniffing around that proximity thing. Their bubble of wealth determiners. Somebody like that ought to be there. And so he says to me this, why do people leave your office? And I go, because they're not making money. That was my team leader response. It's actually accurate, but not complete. It's not a complete answer. People are leaving my office, A, because they're not making money. And they're leaving the industry in general. They leave the office because they're not making money. And they see a way to make more money somewhere else. It's a bright, shiny object. Sadly, it's the holiday staff at Target or Walmart that they see this, I'll get a check in 2 weeks. And they got somebody at home saying, I need to eat. I need to eat. So they do what they got to do. The problem is, they fail to see this, and it's been my bad for 12 years, because my eyes, I've seen it in pieces, but never on one page. These are the opportunities at Keller Williams that could lead to wealth. One is be an agent, for God's sakes. Be a good one. Would you agree? Please say yes, you're an agent.
Yes.
Okay. Or you could be a mega agent. And that's really, quite honestly, 6 million and above. Then you get that status. Or you could be a team owner. Y'all got teams here, right, Ruth? A couple teams? Good. all right? Or you could be, what else? Name them,
Operating partner.
right? Be careful with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the old, it ain't all what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
What else could you be?
Broker.
Yeah?
I think I'd rather be OP than broker.
Yeah.
Complaint department.
I know, right? My friend at the light company, he was in customer service, and on his desk, he had a real, like a hand grenade that was converted, and on the thing, on the pin, it had a little tab, a little ring, take a number thing, and it says complaint department, pull pin. I love that. I'm like, that's perfect. Don't come in here bringing your complaints, right? So what else could you be? Mastery coach,
Master
Gold
coach,
master faculty, KWR. You know Mark Willis, did y'all know him? Ex-CEO of the company. He was a team leader, for God's sake. He was an agent.
Agent?
No, he was a son of an agent. I don't mean that in a bad way. You son of an agent.
Yeah.
What's worse than that? I mean, you're a son of an agent, you. My mom was an agent, right? And then, of course, he was on the team, and then he was a team leader, then he was an OP, then he was a regional director. I thought I left that one. He was an RD, then he was an OP, RD, and then regional OP, I think. And then he woke up one morning and said, I need to be the dumbest guy in the world and be a CEO of a large real estate company. Yeah. He took it on and took us to 145,000 agents. So you can do that. You can do that. You know what? He's not working at Keller Williams anymore, not even as a consultant, because he's too freaking busy flying around in his personal jet. There's a good chance he's wealthy. I'm just kind of giving it to you. Now, it doesn't have to be things, don't get me wrong. I'm as humble as I can be from my upbringing. I remember that. All right? So if I make too much money, I'm just going to give it away. That's it. The other day, some veteran needed a roof. Needed a roof. Couldn't find a sponsor. My ALC comes to me and whispers in my ear, "You can't get a sponsor, man." Look, how much is it? Give me the number. I said, buy a roof. Here. For help. I'm not bragging on me, but damn it, that's what we do. Take care of people who took care of us.